What's up, everyone? It's Michael Fight, and welcome to the show. Alright guys, so right off the bat, we're going to hop right into it and talk about Game of Thrones Episode 3, Oathbreaker. There will be spoils, so if you do not want to be spoiled, leave now. Or I will tell you when to fast forward to. Alright, here's your chance. You still here? Awesome. All right, let's get into it. So right off the bat, Oathbreaker. Oathbreaker is in reference to Jon Snow's sword, but also it kind of could reference a few other things, because there's one thing about Jon Snow coming back that everyone's kind of, wondering is that, well, since he died and came back, does this mean that Jon Snow's watch has ended? That's what we're all curious about. So the episode begins with Jon Snow waking up, and everybody's pretty much surprised that he came back from the dead. Ghost is surprised, the Onion Knight is surprised, and Melisandre comes in and goes, "Oh shit, it worked!" And that was pretty cool. You could see that she was like, this is a big deal. This must be a thing. And then we don't talk about it for pretty much the rest of the episode. So we move on, and one thing we learn in the flashbacks is that Ned Stark was kind of a badass. Like he was a pretty brave guy. We see him in the first season and he's very reserved and does only what he has to do. But in this, we saw that he's taking action and he's stepping up and he's chasing after his sister. So you can see the love, you can see the loyalty in that, and you can see that Ned Stark was a man on a mission, and he was not someone to be fucked around with. Although we noticed that in his triumphs of this battle he talks about with this amazing swordsman, that in fact somebody stabbed that person in the back and then he took the killing blow. So that was kind of shitty, knocked him down a peg in his son's eyes, but I think we're going to see it play out a little better. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as you think it is. And we find out that Ned Stark's sister was kidnapped by Rhaegar Targaryen, the Mad King, and she was held up in a castle and being protected. So as Ned arrives there, he hears her crying out, and so that's when he comes to her rescue. So I think there's something going on there, and the prevailing theory is that she's giving birth to Jon Snow right now, and that's kind of what we're about to discover, and that Jon Snow is in fact the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Ned Stark's sister. But we'll see, man. We'll see what's going on. We also learned that the little Frankenstein monster following around Cersei is in fact Sir Gregor Clegane the Mountain, that giant freaking dude who's like, by the way, 6'10", 400 something pounds. Like in real life, the guy that plays him, like, talk about, that's like a real live mountain. Like, that's insane. So he's the guy kind of following everyone around. And then the other thing we learned is that all of a sudden Rickon is like 20 years old. Like, it's only been a season, and then all of a sudden he grew 10 years as he's following around Tonks, and they get captured and sent over to that guy that used to be in the show The Misfits. If you don't know about that show, it's on Hulu. Definitely look it up, but only really watch like the first 3 seasons. The rest is pretty much garbage. But then in the very end, we see Jon Snow. He finally takes his revenge on the people that murdered him, and the big scene ends and answers our question from the beginning. He says, "My watch has ended," and passes the torch on to another Night's Watch. So there we go. Jon Snow is ready to perhaps claim his birthright, maybe go back to the north and see what's going on there, because there's a whole shitstorm going on there. So we're going to see kind of what's going on there. All right, guys, let's move on to our next couple of topics. First one up, the Power Rangers movie. Power Rangers. So a couple of weeks ago, we got a reveal of Rita Repulsa's costume, and she basically looks like Poison Ivy. And it's bad. It's bad. Now, however, the rumor is that Rita Repulsa is all green, and the way she looks is because she actually was a Power Ranger. She was the green Power Ranger to begin with, and that maybe this is her turning evil in what she's morphed, no pun intended, into as the result of becoming evil, and maybe the power has overcome her or something like that. But we see the costumes, that the brand new costumes of the reboot of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has come across, and they look like this. Now, okay, I get it. Everybody's pissed because, they don't look like the originals, and they're really cheesy, and they kind of look like Iron Man. However, my big issue is 2 things. 1, boob armor is stupid. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. You don't need boob armor. And I'm sorry, half those armors like make these girls' boobs out to be like triple D's, and that's like absurd and ridiculous. That is dumb. The other big thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you guys noticed this either, but one of my Twitter followers actually pointed this out to me. The girls have high heels on. They have high heels on in their ninja fighting space age alien costumes. So you're telling me that alien technology not only gave them giant racks, but also, you know, heels to make their calves look good. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's ridiculous, and I'm sorry. So I am going to kind of shit on this because I think this is really stupid, and I'm not pleased with the way they've did that. So it's whatever. Speaking of movies getting shit on, Ghostbusters. So Paul Feig, the director of the upcoming reboot of the Ghostbusters, has recently lashed out against all the geek critics that have been coming out and basically telling him that his movie is garbage. It is one of the least liked videos on the internet right now, aside from the Call of Duty one, which we might talk about later. But anyways, so Paul is basically saying, like, you know, guys, listen, you know, stop. Like, I trust my writers, I trust my actresses. Like, this is going to be a good movie. You need to just trust me. Now, the problem is that the issue is that everyone was like, well, why didn't we just get a Ghostbusters 3 with as much as the original cast would return, passing on the torch to all this new, these new cast. And, like, you know, a lot of people are like, they're all girls. Like, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter that they're all girls. They could be all chimpanzees for all I care. Like, I don't care. That's not important. What is important is that if you were so concerned about people not comparing to the original, why would your trailer spend the first 10 to 15 seconds bringing it back to the original? It even says right on it, 30 years ago, they saved the city, and you use the theme song and everything. So, like, you set people up to originally compare this to the original of, you know, and everyone's saying because of its classicness. But, like, I'm sorry, don't do that then. If you want this to be an original movie, leave it as original. Make it come out as though nobody's ever heard of Ghostbusters before. If you truly have faith in your actresses and the writing, then let it stand on its own. Stop trying to compare it to the original. Stop trying to pull your audience from the original and just let it live. My personal opinion, I love Kristen Wiig. I have great faith in what Kristen Wiig can do. I think the trailer was cut insanely wrong, and I'm a little concerned for Cicely Strong, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think you're going to get a couple of chuckles out of it. I truly, truly believe that the trailer was just cut very, very incorrectly. Next up, we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed. So Assassin's Creed, the movie, is being produced and starring Michael Fassbender. You might remember him. He plays Magneto, and he was also that guy in 300 that goes, "Then we will fight in the shade." That guy. He's really cool. Anyways, so Michael Fassbender is producing and starring in the upcoming reboot of Assassin's Creed, which of course is another string of reboots, as you can see. Here's a list. Yeah, so a lot of reboots. So the thing is that a couple of stills from the movie have come out, and there's a couple of them here. So as you can see, it kind of shows, you know, the plot, which is basically a character in the movie played by Michael Fassbender goes to this company and basically gets to live out as famous assassins throughout history to kind of like see his family history and go off and kill people. And if the movie is anything like the game, at least the way I play it, you're going to spend 45 minutes dying 100 times, then getting pissed and just going out and getting a pizza anyways. If you're so smart, why don't you do it? So today's topic is going to be about Deadpool. Deadpool just came out on Blu-ray, and if you guys have iTunes, it came out like 3 weeks ago. I've already watched it like 100 times. Now, Deadpool is probably one of the most perfect superhero movies I have ever seen in my life. Asterix, Civil War is high on that list. Probably tied, maybe higher. And the reason why is because Deadpool's perfect. And not only does it not take itself too seriously, but it takes itself seriously enough that allows you to still feel for the characters, that you don't just feel like they're clowns running around and that all you're expecting is just another laugh, i.e. movies like Anchorman, which is fine. Like, Anchorman's a really great movie. It's a really funny movie. Anchorman 2 doesn't exist, but it's a really funny movie, and that's what you expect of those characters. You don't take them seriously. You don't really care if they fall in love. You don't really care if they succeed or not succeed. You're just out there for a laugh. But Deadpool did a really good job of making you actually care about Wade Wilson and his cancer, finding his girl, reconnecting, all the while laughing. But here's my part that I want to fix, and it's such a teeny issue because I truly believe this was a really great movie. Colossus. So, not only did they make Colossus too much of a goody two-shoes, I get that originally in the comics, Colossus, played by, who was Piotr in the comics, was basically there to try to rescue his sister. He was a good guy just looking out for his sister, and he's always trying to avoid conflict, but, the juxtaposition of him being able to turn into this giant adamantium, brute and being able to just, level buildings without blinking, it, kind of plays into that factor that he's really just a gentle human. But the thing is that in the beginning of the scene, you see Deadpool getting his arm, he's cuffed, and then he ends up cutting off his own arm, and blood spurts all over Colossus's face, and all he does is just kind of smirk at it and just kind of go, blah, and then make a joke about it, and then that's that. But in the very end of the movie, Colossus is standing right there, and he sees Deadpool shoot someone in the face, yet all of a sudden he becomes so sickened that he vomits all over the place. It's a little, I didn't particularly care for it. I was like, that's kind of weird, because you just watched him cut off his own hand and blood spurted all over your face, and you were cool with that. But in the end, you throw up just because he shoots someone in the face after you're pummeling people all day. Whatever. Super trivial part, super trivial, because like I said, Deadpool's a really great movie. Guys, it's out now. Absolutely pick it up if you haven't seen it already. Don't steal it. But do totally buy it, because you should support the studio so that we get another Deadpool and that it's really good, because it was one of the largest R-rated openings of all time. Okay, so that's the end of the show, but I'm going to leave you with this one thing. So currently the whole internet is freaking out over this prom photo of a bunch of guys, opening their shirts, revealing that they have superhero costumes underneath it, and all these girls. And everyone's saying, oh, this is subservient girls, and, the guys are there, and they're smiling, but the girls are supposed to just be, with it, and everybody's making a big deal about this feminist statement, and all that. And here's what I'm going to say. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? The girls probably dug it, or they wouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. If you've ever tried to make your prom date do something they didn't want to do, trust me, they did not do it. Thank you very much, Maria. But anyways, so the thing is that, I'm sorry. Nobody's going to be pressured into doing something. They probably thought it was cute. Maybe they're into comic books. Maybe they just thought, the boyfriends thought it was cool. And they probably took tons of other really great, classy, normal, traditional photos as well. So, who the fuck cares? I'm sorry. Comic books are popular right now. Everybody loves superheroes, as we saw with Civil War opening to $8 gajillion worldwide. Seriously, who cares? Guys, that's our show. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, tell your mom, because I'm recording this on Mother's Day, so you're definitely going to love it. And thank you guys so much for the love of the first episode. Don't forget to follow me on every social media ever, and I'll see you back again later. Bye!